Let's just start with a look back at that game. It felt like it was so out of character for what we saw from you guys through 6 weeks. And I know it happens everywhere in the league that, that there are games that just are hard to explain. But how do you, looking back at it, explain what happened on Sunday?
Yeah, you wish you had a great answer for you. We got our butts kicked a little bit, and yeah, it happens. Unfortunately, it does happen. Fortunately for us, we can sit here at 5-2 and be able to get some things fixed and still have a great season ahead of us. But yeah, not good on a lot of fronts, and certainly look inward at yourself and see where you can get better. It
just seems like players and guys that we've become accustomed to making great plays, and yourself included, it just almost felt like everybody was off. I've never, I don't know if that's a case. You guys just throw it in the garbage and move on, or is there stuff that needs to get addressed, like alerts?
Yeah, there's always stuff to get addressed. Yeah, certainly some things showed up in that game that's uncharacteristic of who we are, who I am, and yeah, you get that stuff fixed and you move on. It's ultimately 1 of 17 and only counts for one loss, as they all do. But yeah, you figure it out, you get some of that stuff addressed, and you move on to the Monday night game.
What is it about the game that bothers you the most, and that you'd like to work out those kinks this week, first and foremost?
I think just some of the details on offense. I think, when you get in a game like that and you're, down, early, you tend to try to do things outside of what you're being asked to do, or outside of what your offense entails or whatnot. And I think that's what we found ourselves doing. That's certainly what I found myself doing at times. And you can't do that. You got to stick to what you know and stick to what you've been doing. And that's your best chance to make a comeback. And, unfortunately, we didn't do that.
How have you responded to games like this in the past, and what did you learn from them? Like last year, for instance, the Patriots game wasn't very competitive. The Panthers game seemed like that was one of these yuck throw it in the garbage games. How do you respond to that, and what did you learn?
Yeah, you watch it just like every other game. Really, you don't treat it, really much differently. You watch it, you learn from it, you move on. You do the same thing when you win, the same thing when you lose in a close one, same thing when you win in a tight one. It all counts the same, and you watch it. You see what you can get better at. You see what you did good, and you move on.
Did injuries in any way catch up to you guys? Maybe a little bit.
No, I don't think so. I think we were pretty banged up in Tampa, and we took care of business there. So, yeah, things happen. It just wasn't our day. Baltimore played really well, and we didn't.
Well, it was interesting. Dan Campbell was on the morning show today, and he was asked, all right, can you, on a positive side, who played well? And the first name he said was Jahmyr Gibbs. What did you see from Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah, I thought he played really well. I think I said this after the game. I wish we could have been in a situation to get him going a bit more because of how well he was playing. I thought he protected really well too. It's something that's that we don't ask him to do it quite as much early on this season. But I thought he did a good job both with the ball in his hands and with the ball not in his hands, and provided a little bit of spark for us at times.
It's not an excuse, but obviously the wind does play a factor. Can you kind of walk us through and how the wind affects how you personally were able to throw the ball or not throw the ball how you wanted to?
Yeah, it was windy, but I didn't feel like it was much windier than Tampa the week earlier. So to be honest with you, I don't think it had too much of an effect on us. It didn't change the way that Ben called the game. It didn't change the way that I was approaching each throw. It really didn't. So that's not any bit of the reason why it went the way it did.
When things are going as poorly as they were, 3 drives, 3 3-and-outs, you're down 28-0 before you get the first down. What is the conversation like on the sideline when you're talking with Ben Johnson or Mark Brunell?
Yeah, just trying to find a way to get on track and to get back, get our feet underneath us and make some plays. What do we like? What do we think will get us a first down? And we talk about it all the time, just getting that first down, and things tend to go our way after that. So finding a way to, get 10 yards and move on from there. But, yeah, we certainly struggled early on.
It was interesting listening to Dan Campbell yesterday speak with the media, and then today he kind of had a newfound resolve, I guess, in his voice. But when you look back at post-game locker room Dan, Monday Dan, Tuesday Dan, or maybe anybody, who has said the most helpful thing as you guys try to take that, learn from it, and get better because of it? Has anybody stepped up? Maybe it was you that people have responded to, but what has been the approach And has anybody said anything specifically that you thought they're right on the money? Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's always Dan. After the games, win, lose, draw, whatever it is, he's got a great feel for what we need to hear, what we need to do, what we need to respond with, and this game's no different. The way he handled it post game has been tremendous throughout my 3 years here, and I think he's an incredible leader and usually gets us back on the right track pretty quickly.
So far with Jameson Williams, it kind of looks like the two of you still aren't completely in sync yet. Is this something that you can see working out just simply with more reps in practice? Does it take extra time after practice? How can the two of you improve on that chemistry, and how far do you think you have to go before it gets to a comfort level that you have with the other receivers?
Yeah, it's just reps, right? It's just a lot of reps. I've had so many more reps with St. Brown and Josh, just to be specific with those guys. And Jameson missed most of last year with the ACL, and most of what he missed was practice. He came back and just started playing in games, and then we really just had OTAs and training camp, and then he had to miss however many games he missed early on. So yeah, he's in. I think this is his second game back, right, last week. So just getting more reps with him and getting on the same page, and he's doing a good job. He's working hard, and we're continuing to work hard together and make this thing work.
Does he come and talk to you on the sidelines during games about stuff that's happening on the field?
J-Mo?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, they all do. Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah. Is there anything interesting that you could share that have come out of those conversations?
No, not that I can share.
Fair enough. Is there a conversation that takes place at all on the sideline of the fourth quarter about taking you out or taking other starters out of the game when it's a blowout? I know you guys don't want to come out; it's your job, but at the same time, this team has gone through a lot of injuries, and maybe you want to protect or hedge against that affecting the future.
There was no conversation of that. No.
David Montgomery, any updates that you're aware of, and if he can come back for Monday night, how much will that help?
I don't have those answers for you. I'm sorry. No. That's a medical decision. That is not a quarterback decision.
Getting into the Monday night game, Monday Night Football. I mean, for us growing up, it was everything. And as time has moved on, you got Thursday night games, Sunday night games. Does Monday Night Football still hold a special place for players, or is it kind of just another game?
I think so. I think it really does. It's the only game on that day. It's after the big slate of games on Sunday, and the excitement's just at the end, and you get one more big pop on Monday night, and you get the great crew with Troy and Joe, and it's a special night. You always grew up. I remember coming home from school, and you're like, oh yeah, we get Monday night tonight, and it's always something that's exciting. You sit around, you eat dinner, you watch the game, and it's always fun to play on that Monday night, and for us to be at home in front of our home crowd for the first time in a long time out here, it'll be exciting.
Jared, a weird turn of events with your loss, but with Minnesota's victory over San Francisco, you guys are now the number 2 seed. You moved up a spot in the NFC because of the tiebreakers. I know it's early to be looking at this stuff, but when do you start looking at it, and how important is it as far as positioning for a postseason run?
You want to start looking at it probably till those last 2 or 3 weeks. To be honest, we got to focus on each game at one at a time, and ultimately our goal is win the division and see where we land from there. But yeah, you start maybe looking at it in the last couple of weeks, seeing maybe who you're going to end up playing. And but yeah, it's a long ways away for us right now.
What do you know about Max Crosby, and is he a guy that can keep you up at night worrying about it?
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a really great player. He has been for a long time. He brings a lot of energy. He's the guy that you got to be aware of on their defense where he's at and make sure he's taken care of. We've got 2 really good tackles that we feel great about. But yeah, he's a great player, and we'll be aware of him.
One more thing. We both talked about this yesterday. One more thing from me. Sam Laporta made a catch on the sidelines that it probably will go unnoticed because of the way the game went. But he made an incredible catch where he reached up and kind of batted the ball back to him. He feels like he's just getting better and better.
Yeah, he does. He does just get better and better, it seems, each week. And a guy that I really trust. He does everything right, is where he's supposed to be. He has great hands, like you just said. He catches the ball really strongly at the catch point. It gives me a lot of trust in him, and he's done a great job.
I imagine that there is a difference between losing a game by a point and losing a game by 32 points. But is there a way that you can kind of relate to the people what it feels like and how badly you want to get back on the field and right the wrongs?
Yeah, it certainly stings, and I think when it's not competitive there at the end, it's not a fun game to be in. We've been on the other side of those, which are really fun, but when you're on the bad side of it, it's not fun to be in those type of games. And yeah, you want to get back on the field as fast as possible. With that, knowing that they all count the same, they all do count. It does count for one loss, just like another one would. But finding a way to, get ourselves right this week, and I know Dan will have us ready to go, and it'll be a good week for us to bounce back, hopefully.
Jared, appreciate your time as always. Good luck. We're looking forward to Monday night, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
There he is, Jared Goff, the quarterback of the Detroit Lions.